It's an environment which makes people feel very uncomfortable because it's planning but not a plan. It's giving ourselves the tools to raise money as effectively as possible. So, for instance, I know exactly what my KPIs are for the year. We set those, and quite frankly, it's about doing whatever it takes to meet those KPIs. It's about meeting whatever the world brings to us head on and reacting to it in order to raise money. What we value as a business and what our donors value are two very, very different things. What we often value as a business is this need for strict process. And when I say strict, again, at the UN, you cannot get more strict than our process. We run like a bank on steroids. People like to feel comfortable. They like to know what's coming up. They like to come to you and say, tell me what's happening in 6 months. Tell me what's happening in 12 months. What are our 2, 3, 4, 5 year models? And our donors, they haven't got the memo on that. They haven't got the memo that, hey, Nigel, your long-term value is supposed to deliver me a return on my ad spend of 8 by year 3. Why haven't you done that? Because we're not flexing to meet that. We've got this continuous line of things which is just a hangover from how we used to operate when we couldn't be agile. We're not sprinting and learning and tweaking and engaging. And that's what consumers want us to do. Our donors want us to be relevant, and we can't be relevant. How can you plan relevance now for in 6 months' time, let alone a year? You don't know what's going to be relevant. That's what people tried to do before COVID hit. They thought they knew what was relevant. They had their little field trips planned. They knew what was going on, and then every single thing became irrelevant, and it was all gone. It was wasted because they couldn't flex. So planning versus a plan, and as I've said, get your numbers and do whatever it takes, to get there. It's a bit like, having a bunch of Lego. You want to build something, you keep shifting your bricks. You want a house now. Okay, you don't want a house, you want a little car, you want a unicorn. You just keep shifting it. And it's about outcomes, not outputs. So many fundraising teams these days are still, they just get off on this idea of schedules, Excel sheets. I don't use any Excel, don't need to. I've got dashboards, I've got results, and I've got some PM tools like Trello, yeah, of course. But it's outcomes, not outputs. No one is judging this team on how much you do, it's how much you raise. And if your outputs are huge, and your outcomes are little, you're not doing it correctly. We need to change. The implementation is very hard. That's not strictly true. It can be easy. It can start off easy and it gets harder. It depends on your people. If you have difficult people, it will make it difficult. So how do you do it? You have conversations, and you start having those conversations now. You show people the benefits to them. For instance, communications teams as fundraisers, there's always a bit of niggle, right? So we need content. They provide us content. We need it quick. They don't want to provide it to us quick. What's the advantage of them providing it quick to us? What's the benefit? Let's bring them on board. Let's empower them and franchise them into our target so we can share in the successes together. I love it when people from communications teams come and say, how much money did we raise? Is that done well? Talk me through it. Show me some graphs. And as soon as they start getting into that, it's great. We need to get past this idea of hippos, which is the highest paid person's opinion, because that's what really derails us. We need to start looking at hard data and learning. So here's some little arguments that I've often faced. My organisation wants an annual plan. They don't want to run in this way. They said it's all very well, but they still want this 12-monther. We can do that. And what we do is we operate in grey areas. We're not definitive. We say, here's a list of themes that we're going to explore. And we say, we want to test them and we want to have the flexibility to test. We don't want to be bound in. And if we explain it in terms of the bottom line, people get it. We have very stringent approval processes. Someone from every department needs to look at something 7 times and it'll take 2 months. It's very hard, this one, but they need to do better than that. They need to understand what working like that looks like. And quite often what I've done is said, okay, well, the only way we can do that is I'm going to try and do every bit of thinking up front. So here's a huge tome of things you're going to have to sign off, because I'm trying to read the future. I know it's what I've been saying we can't do, but the reason I do that is because it shows them, hang on, I'd actually rather do it the other way. I'd actually rather be having it little by little, which is what you said. Let's do that. Show them the other way, and it kind of works out.